Monkey Man!
I remember being really excited when I saw this during the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, so I pre-ordered as soon as I could, and then I didn't play it for like 6 months. And in that time, everyone was hyping up this game, and everyone was saying, oh, this game is so good. Super Mario Odyssey sucks. That old DK design, that sucks too now. So I'm thinking, okay, this game gotta be really good. And I thought it was okay. Looking at my notes here, I remember thinking DK was pretty fun to control, and I like how literally everything was breakable. The voice acting from Pauline was okay, and the music was pretty good, especially that changing room theme. Oh, that one was funky. The bosses were kind of bad, though. They posed like no challenge, and I get that this is a kid's game, but I even think kids might think would be a little too easy. But my main issue was the bananas. Collecting them was fine, but unlike Mario Odyssey where the moons helped you progress through the game, the bananas are just kind of there to upgrade DK. So after like the third world, I got bored of collecting the bananas, so I just made a mad dash to the end of each level. I didn't care anymore. There was like 17 levels and 1,000 bananas, so I just called it quits right after I got the credits. I don't know, I wish I liked it more, but you know, oh well. I only played this out of sheer curiosity because I was scrolling through the Xbox store and I saw it was made by Inti Creates. Now, I've never played a Galgun game, but I like Mega Man 9 and Curse of the Moon. Still like the same thing, right? Anyway, the game was just okay. The story was in, but I wasn't confused, which was a worry I had, seeing this was a spin-off game to a game like this. And you know, I thought I'd need some answers. The gameplay was solid, but nothing too crazy. You either shoot a gun or you swing a sword, have at ya. The game caught my eye with its incredible looking pixel art, which is to be expected from Inti Creates. I just like how the characters leave this glowing trail around. It's visually striking. I just wish the game was just as good as its visuals. I'm excited to play the sequel though.
Alright, we're done. Go play PS5. My
Alright, so I already made a video about this game, so if you want to go check out my thoughts in a pretty bad video, go check it out. But in short, I like the game. Is it great? No. It's just a guilty pleasure of mine. So if you can get past the Rick and Morty humor and pretty basic combat, there's some fun stuff in this game. The game I can't say the same thing about is
unacceptable!
I originally was going to do a video on this, but then a combination of laziness, RE9, and the amount of complaints I had with this game just made me give up on that video completely. But I still have my notes and some gameplay, so here are my thoughts. Mind you, this is from like 5 months ago, so none of this is probably accurate anymore. According to myself, the game has a different tone from the first game, so instead of feeling like Rick and Morty, it feels like Solar Opposites, which is a show I really couldn't get into. I was surprised they even mentioned Kenny at the beginning of the game, seeing as they wanted to ignore him in the DLC. This one was more story driven as opposed to the first game where it just had this loose plot so they could just squeeze in a lot of jokes. And I remember thinking the intro to the game was really fun and a cool setup, and I really liked how it was skipping through time to catch you up, and then the game doesn't do anything cool like that again. The new guns are kinda bad. I found them all pretty annoying and one note. The open world is too big with like nothing to do, and if I keep going, this video will be like an hour long. So the last thing I'll say is this game is buggy, and I mean dog. It crashed on me a few times and I have so much footage of this game just not working. I hear it better now, but man, the first game had bugs, but not this bad. I think the devs got a little too ambitious and bit off more than they could chew. Hopefully for their next game they scale back a bit and create something with tighter pacing and with way less bugs, because this is unacceptable. It doesn't have to be perfect, but Jesus Christ, look at this. I did like the Respect the Pouch poster though. That was pretty good. Like a year and a half ago, I decided to only buy games on PS5 and Switch, so I had to rebuy a lot of my games. And I started with the Resident Evil series because I really like them, and also they're really freaking cheap on Amazon. Plus, there was the new game coming out, so I was like, oh, I'm a marathon through the whole series, all the remakes, 7 and 8, everything. I got one game in. I like RE7, but the boat section just kills the replayability of this game. Other than that though, I like Ethan. I like the first person perspective. I know that people don't like either of those, but I like it, alright? In my opinion, this is definitely the scariest Resident Evil. Unless you're my friend who says this isn't even scary. Mind you, he plays games with his own music. Like, of course a game can't be scary if you got Chaperone yelling in your ear.
Stop it! Don't open that door!
The first time you play Requiem, you'll think it's the best Resident Evil ever made. After about the second or third time, you realize maybe third place is pretty good too. Firstly, I like Grace. She's cool and her sections are really intense the first time you play them, but you see how easy it is to avoid the zombies after a while. Also, the section where in the orphanage from RE2 is incredibly boring on repeated playthroughs because it has you doing nothing but hiding and waiting. It's not like the boat from RE7 bad, but it's still a pace breaker. Leon is really fun to play as, so much it kinda hurts going back to playing as Grace and doing the whole survival horror thing. I really think it should have been 2 campaigns with one in first and the other in third person. And even though this is probably the least replayable RE game, I mean it doesn't even track your time in the pause menu anymore. Requiem is still a really good game, and hopefully that DLC is good because that Leon minigame sucked.
Oh shit, I'm Lando versus Kylo Ren versus Yoda. Now this is what I'm talking about. What the fuck? What the?
Here's another one I already did a video for, but in short, it's a fun boomer shooter with a Star Wars aesthetic. If that sounds interesting, then you'll probably enjoy it. And also always remember to wait for a sale, because like a few days after I posted the video, the game went on sale for like 20 bucks. That's usually my luck.
This has all been a pain. We want to switch back our brains. Wow, there's a lot of pressure in here.
One of my favorite games of all time, Psychonauts 2 does what few games have achieved, which is having dialogue that isn't the cringiest thing you've ever heard. This game is just non-stop fun. You got the new enemies, the new worlds, the new powers, Jack Black. The game just ends you feeling happy, and then it leaves you in a state of dread when you see it's been 5 years and there's still no Psychonauts 3. And then Double Fine almost got shut down, but now they're indie again, and I just hope they make more games, man.
Hey, fuck you. Excuse me. Eat shit, you soy boy cuck. I hardly think I've heard of something called Cuphead, old man.
Cuphead is one of the best games ever made. You got the art, the music, the gameplay. It's just perfect. Unless I died to that stupid dragon again. For this playthrough, I decided to go for the platinum, and bro, I died so many times. I rage quit 3 times. My controller was more sweat than controller, and I never want to do that again. Can't wait for the new ones.
How am I supposed to jump? Oh my god, I'm not looking. God dang, I wasn't looking. What the heck?
I started reviewing all the Mega Man games, and besides what the comments say, I do have fun playing these games. I don't actually hate them. Like I said in the Mega Man 1 video. 2 out of 5. I like that the game sets a template for the other games that I actually do find fun. So I'll get back to the Mega Man grind after this video, but until then...
Sample we've seen yet. And potentially the most unstable. No.
I love Portal. Ever since my brother showed me the game and said it's a game where one portal leads to another portal, that led me to say, neat. But I never gave the games that are in the same universe a try, the Half-Life series. But like another game later on in this video, the first game was free for a bit on Steam, so it's just been sitting there in my library for years just collecting dust. So I finally decided to give it a try, and Half-Life 1? Well, this is definitely a game from 1998, because why aren't there any subtitles? Banjo-Kazooie had subtitles, and they didn't even speak English. I think it was like Spanish or something. The dialogue in this game is very hard to hear, but that's just a minor gripe. I think there are some fun missions, and it has an interesting concept, but the shooting could be a bit better. It's been a little bit since I played the game, but I remember the soldiers were just shredding through my health, so much so I had to save state a lot through the game. But the game controlled fine, and I didn't really have a problem with the mechanics, and it was a comfortable experience until that final boss, which, to quote my backlog review, has one of the worst final bosses I've ever fought. So why does that make me want to play Half-Life 2 more? Oh, on a side note, I played with the controller. Thought I'd let y'all know that.
How am I supposed to jump? Oh my god, I'm not looking. God dang, I wasn't looking. What the heck?
Like I said in my video on it, this game is really good, and the music is just one of the best video game soundtracks of all time. Go watch my video on it. It's about as short as this segment.
Besides, we had a deal. You bought my game, you held my books, you're my boyfriend. Now sit down in that chair.
Okay, hold on. Let me explain. Like Half-Life, this game was free on Steam for a little bit. I think it was for like an anniversary or something. And look, yes, did I start playing it because of the anime girls? Yes. At first, but man, after a while I was so focused on actually winning the actual puzzles and upgrading my multipliers, and I know it just sounds like I'm trying to convince y'all that I'm actually playing this game for fun and not sounding like a weirdo, but trust me, after a few games you will be addicted too. And Q was the best girl. I mean, the next game. Some Call Me Johnny is one of my favorite YouTubers, so when I saw him review this, instantly I added it to my backlog. Being a console gamer, I haven't really played many fan games or mods. They always look cool to me, but my laptop hates running Google Docs, so imagine it trying to run this? But Triple Trouble 16-bit didn't look that taxing, and I was already on my laptop for the last 2 games, so I was like, you know what, let's try it. Yeah, alright, let's just go for it. So Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit is a fan remake of the Game Gear game, which I've never played, but I'm pretty sure no one has, so it doesn't really matter. Just look at it, it just looks like a brand new 2D Sonic game, and it controls beautifully, and the game looks and sounds great. The music is really strong with the remixes, especially Robotnik Winter Zone. Oh my god, that song is a slapper. Anyway, you can play as Sonic and Tails, but if you want, you can unlock more characters like Knuckles and Fang the purple thing. This is a seriously impressive fan game, and it's definitely got me more interested in trying more fan games out. I'm thinking next I'll try AM2R, but until then, here's this.
Why is everything chrome?
Everything is chrome in the future.
I don't know, maybe I'm not a Kirby guy, but I didn't enjoy this as much as I thought I would. He's just too slow for my liking, and I got bored pretty fast. The music is great, and the mech is a cool idea, and is more fun to use than regular Kirby. The Meta Nightmare mode is really fun though, and I really would like to see a full game flesh this out, but other than that, I'm kinda disappointed. It's not that bad, but this one just didn't click for me. I still want to try Forgotten Land though. I don't know what made you guys click on this one so much, but thanks for 1,000 views, I guess.
What the heck?
I didn't know the Mega Man community loved Force so much. Like, it's okay guys, you can still like it. And like I said in the Mega Man 1 video, I haven't played most of these. So yeah, maybe I will like 5 more than 4 random commenter. Thank you for commenting though, please subscribe.
There you dudes are. I've been trying to get your attention.
I spent way too much to get a physical copy of this game. I like the game, but I wish I liked it more. Firstly, only being able to use 2 items at a time is such a pace breaker, especially because your sword is always going to take up 1 slot. The kinstones are a neat idea, but did it really need its own button? Couldn't we just talk to an NPC and then ask him if we want to fuse kinstones? That frees up a button to have in an extra item hand, like the Pegasus Booch, which made the adventure way more fun. Second, the Minish gimmick is kinda underplayed. All it amounts to is shrinking to go through a tunnel or a cave, but it never really feels like you change size. If this was like Mario Party DS and the whole world was big compared to Link, then that would have made things more interesting, but for what it is, it's fine, just some missed potential I think. There is some good stuff in the game though. The graphics are really good for the GBA, and having the option to change your brightness in the game itself is appreciated. The music was okay with only a few tracks sticking out, but overall the game looks and sounds great, but I could have done without Link screaming his head off every time he fell. The story was fine, but the villain was pretty forgettable. I do like Eslo though, because making Link's Cap your companion is genius. Overall, I don't feel like my time was wasted, but not one of the best Zelda games in my opinion.
You gotta quit reading this fantasy nonsense for your own good. Although some of these would make great attractions. Can't come up with this stuff.
Yoshi and the Yuri fanfic is a fine game. It looks great, and performance is really good on Switch too. Now I never played Woolly World or Crafted World, but they always looked visually cool to me. So I'm glad that Good Feel can still make a great looking game. And the game isn't bad, and for the first few hours I was having a good time. But by the halfway point I was starting to feel a little bored, and I was going for the 100%, but after the first creature, which I named Jerry by the way, I immediately tapped out. It just never stopped. And I looked it up and there are over 2,000 discoveries. Nah, I'm good, man. Fun game, and the creatures were really cool and had fun gimmicks. And if they just reuse the assets from this game and to make something more traditional like Island or Woolly World, you might have a great game on your hands. But with the game we have now, this is okay too.